We think of a city as crowded, and so if somebody's mowing their lawn next door, you can't hardly talk on your back patio. That's not the case with this city. This city is huge. It is massive, and it is a cube. To me, that's very significant. You know why? Because in the Old Testament, God told Solomon, I want you to build me a temple. And Solomon built God a temple, if you remember. And God gave him the exact instructions for the temple. There was the outer court. Then there was the holy place where the candelabra and the showbread was. And then there was the Holy of Holies. The Holy of Holies was where the presence of God was. There was the ark in there with its mercy seat. There was actually the Shekinah glory, the light that shined constantly. It was the presence of God in the Holy of Holies. Now, the Holy of Holies was a cube, 20 by 20 by 20. 20 wide, 20 long, and 20 high. God dwelt in a room that was a cube. And now Revelation 21:3 calls the New Jerusalem the tabernacle of God. And so in eternity, God's city is a cube. Isn't that significant? And so we have the dimensions. Then we have the description of the city. The description of the city, beginning here in Revelation chapter 21. And by the way, it's going to talk to us about the walls, the gates, the streets. Some people want to say, oh, this is all symbolism. It's not real, it's just symbolic of what's going to be. Well, let me say this to you. The book of Revelation does speak in symbolic language at times. Let me just turn a page or two back, and I'll give you a slight illustration. Just listen. It says, a great earthquake took place. The sun became black as sackcloth made of hair. Now, did the sun become sackcloth made of hair? No, as sackcloth. In other words, the sun became black. Was it literally sackcloth? No, it's symbolic. And the whole moon became like blood. Did it become blood? No, like blood. In other words, symbolic language. And we find that sometimes in the book of Revelation. Here it's talking about the Antichrist. He was like a leopard. His feet were like those of a bear, and his mouth like a lion. Was he a leopard? Was he a bear? No, the Bible says like a bear, like a lion. And so the Bible is very specific when it's speaking in symbolic language. There are times the Bible is speaking in symbolic language. The Antichrist is as swift as a leopard. He's as powerful as a bear. And we see those things in him, but like a leopard, like a bear. But here it doesn't say symbolic language. It doesn't indicate symbolic language. It doesn't say it had streets like gold, walls like jasper. No. It says the streets were gold. And so he's not speaking in symbolic language here. Let's look at it. Revelation 21:2. I saw the holy city, John says, New Jerusalem, coming down out of heaven from God, made ready as a bride adorned for her husband. He calls it the holy city. And that's the first thing we see about this city. It is holy. This is a holy city. Wow. This will be like no city you have ever seen. Wycliffe Bible Commentary says this concerning this holy city part. A holy city will be one in which no lie will be uttered in 100 million years. No evil word will ever be spoken. No shady business deals will ever be discussed. No unclean picture will ever be seen. No corruption of life will ever be manifest. It will be holy because everyone in it will be holy. The people of the city will be holy. No Chicago politics. I just threw that in. Only those who have been cleansed of their sins will be in this city. Those cleansed by the blood of Christ will enter. Some people say, well, I don't like cities. But this is different. All the advantages and none of the disadvantages of a city are in this city. It will be filled with natural wonders, magnificent architecture, thriving culture, There will be no crime, no pollution, no sirens, no fatalities, no garbage, no homelessness, no pickpockets, no porn shops, no drugs or prostitutes. This will be a magnificent city. God says it is a holy city. That alone would be enough description, but let's read on. And then it says, it speaks of the pearly gates. It had a great high wall with 12 gates, and at the gates 12 angels, and the names are written on them, which are the names of the 12 tribes of the sons of Israel. There are 12 gates, and the 12 gates, let's read the next verse. The 12 gates were 12 pearls, each gate made of a single pearl. 3 gates on the north, 3 on the south, 3 on the east, 3 on the west. The gates of a city were given for defense. Cities had great walls, and they had gates. The gates were shut at night so that no danger could slip into the city. No person could slip in and do harm to the city. And so the gates were closed at night. And here it says the gates will never be closed. Even here on the earth, in the happiest place on the earth, Disney World or Disneyland, it's called the happiest place on the earth, they close the gates at night. But here the gates will never be closed. No need for searches, no need for metal detectors, no elitism in heaven, no one looking in with longing saying, I wish I could go in. No, we will have free access to this city through the great gates of pearls. Number 3, the next thing we see is the foundation of precious stones. This city has a foundation of precious stones. The foundation stones of the city were adorned with every kind of precious stone. The first foundation was jasper. The second was sapphire, and so forth, with too many big words that I can't pronounce. But so I won't read them all, but 12 foundation stones. A building's strength is its foundation. When we built this building, I thought they would never get going up with the walls. But they were making sure they had a good foundation before they came up with the walls. A building's strength is its foundation. This one has not one foundation, but 12 foundations. And the foundations are 12 beautiful, magnificent stones of colors, of magnificent colors. It will look like a shimmering rainbow with light reflecting off and through it. Wow, unbelievable, the beauty. And then this city is built by God. He is the builder. Hebrews 11:8, by faith Abraham, when he was called, obeyed going out, for he was looking for a city which hath foundations, plural, whose architect and builder is God. The builder of this city is God. And then the next thing we see are the streets of gold. Oh, I know that for some people this is just folklore, but I want you to know it could not be more real. The material of the wall was jasper. The city was pure gold like clear glass, and the street of the city was pure gold like transparent glass. Wow, we have never seen gold like this. Pure gold. So pure that it's like glass, and the city is filled with visual magnificence. And then we see the light of the city. The Lamb is the light of the city. No street lights. The glory of God will illuminate the entire city. And the city has no need of the sun or the moon to shine on it, for the glory of God has illuminated it, and its lamp is the Lamb. Wow, can you imagine it? Having the glory of God, her brilliance was like very costly stone, a stone of crystal clear jasper. And then look what Isaiah said in Isaiah 60. No longer will you have the sun for light by day, nor brightness will the moon give you light, but you will have the Lord for an everlasting light, and your God for your glory. The sun will no longer set, nor will your moon wane, for you will have the Lord for an everlasting light, and the days of your mourning will be over. Wow.